This is the presentation for Team Mi5. Our show is entitled Iconic Innovation. It's an animated TV show that follows our protagonist Gary and his marketing firm called Iconic Concepts. We see him as he innovates and deals with change in the business environment. Our target market would be entrepreneurs who would want some advice on dealing with managerial scenarios that they might encounter in their business. The business, Iconic Concepts, that our character Gary runs, is a marketing company focused on local businesses. It's a franchise of a larger company called Iconic Direct Marketing Solutions and is run by our protagonist Gary Winsworth. The company is an organic organizational style featuring decentralized matrix structure. It deals with lots of uncertainty and therefore use informal communication and happenstance to find their potential customers. It's a small company which allows for creative strategies.
Guess what, Airy? I have some news for you. There is going to be some changes around here at corporate. We are investing into salesfest.com because we think it is the right move.
That's right, Gary's sales team is out in the city landing new accounts.
Gary, I'm so glad that you are not adopting Salesforce because I don't have the time to watch tutorials on how to use it. I have better things to do with my time, like selling.
We are doing great, but I want to do better. I think everyone suffers from a lack of creativity and groupthink. I believe this must end today. I'm moving our office to the new Innovation Lab downtown. I think this is the best way to meet people and find some new ideas.
Gary's sales team is now at the Innovation Lab, and they have met a lot of innovative people. They are getting all sorts of new ideas through random happenstance encounters. Ultimately, Gary moved his office to the new Innovation Lab, because some major changes were in order. Now his team can brainstorm and not worry about groupthink.
Woo-hoo. I am so happy to finally get all this work done. Time to have some lunch. So, what is it that you do?
Gary has now moved one step closer to acquiring this technology startup that specializes in communication via bone conductivity. He plans to use this in his marketing messages. Ultimately, Gary wants to be successful, and he realizes that his sales messages must cut through the clutter. It's a good start, and who knows what will happen next. Rest assured, Gary now has a product that is unlike any other on the market today. More innovation is bound to follow.
Gary. Gary is the franchise owner and protagonist. An older gentleman in his 70s, he has years of managerial experience under his belt. He is well liked by his employees for his patience, keen intelligence, and ability to make informed judgments based on past experiences. He prefers to make his decisions using a model of bounded rationality. His greatest flaw is that he could also be described as old-fashioned. He prefers word of mouth to networking and is often frustrated by technology. One of the key aspects of the show is that he realized his need to change and modernize his business. Sarah. Sarah is a relatively new employee in the company. She is a young and energetic woman who has been known to use her ability to charm clients to her advantage. She is a standout amongst the sales team because of the amount of revenue she is able to bring in. This is not necessarily because she wants to help the company. She's after the money she makes on commissions. Because she knows that she's a valuable employee, she prefers to do things her own way, even if it's not necessarily the best approach to the situation. Nathan. Nathan is the marketing manager in the office and an expert in business relations. His primary concern is gathering information from the clients and using it to implement new strategies. He also keeps tabs on customer satisfaction for each salesperson, a valuable metric for gauging employee performance. He is well liked by the employees he supervises, who have described him as helpful, knowledgeable, and easy to get along with. Simon. Simon is the CEO of the company, and he focuses mainly on high-level thinking. Simon can be seen by others as a boss hog or wise guy who mainly prescribes to an autocratic management style while allowing employees some leeway in how they carry out their work. Simon wants the company to adopt Salesforce.com because he thinks it will be the next big thing in their industry, and he is very forward-thinking. Simon's always focused on the next big thing. Simon is the kind of manager who is not afraid of change and wants to push his company to the top of its industry. Henry. A natural leader, Henry acts as the middleman between the franchise and the corporate office. He's an advocate for and best friend to the franchise, working to help them improve the status not only of the franchise but of the company as a whole. Henry is a proponent of Taylorism and encourages continuous improvement, moving towards perfection. Although sometimes Henry is seen as a comedian, he can also be fierce if a situation calls for tough-mindedness. Bill. Bill is the technology guru of the corporate office. Known as a go-getter, Bill is always ready to try the newest technology and is an early adopter of new products and software. Bill helps to install and maintain new software products on corporate systems, involving him with both the corporate office and with the franchises. Bill is often called upon by franchise operators for his expertise in software. Bill operates under a laissez-faire management paradigm, serving as more of a mentor.
Mike is a peppy, energetic scientist who has developed an innovative bone conductive technology. Currently, he is manufacturing it with some sunglasses, but he's looking to expand into new areas. With the acquisition by Iconic Concepts, he hopes to explore bone conductive marketing via his glasses, so as to send real-time contextual messages straight to the user. With control resting in his hands, he relishes the entrepreneurial role. Mike agreed to the acquisition, so long as Gary and his team are committed to organizational development. Simply put, he likes the idea of change, but he wants to ensure that everyone benefits by remaining at the Innovation Lab. Gary, the franchise owner, meets with corporate to discuss the adoption of a new software called Salesforce.com. Upon reflection, he comes to the realization that changing the way his business is run in such a fundamental way will certainly be difficult for his employees to accept. In fact, he himself is apprehensive. He feels he's too old to adapt to using a new technology. Upon returning to the office, he finds that his salespeople are all out doing what they do best, attempting to gain new accounts. This solidifies his conviction to avoid adopting Salesforce.com if at all possible. His employees all agree that word of mouth is their preferred method of establishing customer relationships. When Gary arrives at his office in the morning, he's surprised to see his entire sales team is also there. This is a rare occurrence, as his sales team works on commission and understandably spend most of their time out of the office with potential customers. He schedules a meeting with everyone to discuss potential changes to the way his franchise operates. With his extensive management experience, he realizes that creativity in his team is being stifled by the dreaded groupthink. His solution is to foster new ideas and concepts using the growth mindset. To this end, he moves his team to the Innovation Lab, where they will be exposed to a wide variety of people from different backgrounds. This exposure to new viewpoints and methods revitalizes his team and opens up the possibility for new customers via networking. Gary is finding the Innovation Lab to be a massive boon for his franchise. The advantages were clear to see. He has used the networking the lab provides to great effect to advertise his services to a new client base. Additionally, the aura of creativity that the environment fosters has revealed several talented people whom Gary has turned his attention towards. The common thread shared by this new blood, despite their diverse experience and backgrounds, is a wealth of entrepreneurial spirit and fresh ideas. The aforementioned startup company, Buell, has created an innovative bone-conductive technology. Gary sees the opportunity to set himself apart from his competition by developing Rarity. He discusses the possibility of purchasing Buell and integrating them into his franchise. His sales team's on board with the idea, and Gary sets about establishing a merger of the two companies. Gary has begun to notice that his employees seem to be disgruntled and aren't working to their full potential. He asks Nathan, one of his most trusted associates and the marketing manager, to help him understand the problem. Nathan confides in Gary that some of the other employees don't feel valued and have complaints they'd like to be addressed. Gary sets out to tackle this managerial issue by talking to his employees and giving them an avenue to air their grievances. He takes to the list of issues gathered from the office to HR and manages to come to a compromise that will satisfy everyone. Since Gary has fixed employee issues with HR, performance has been good, but could be better, and the attitude of the employees has changed. Unfortunately, sales have not made major progress, and realistically have just remained constant since before the employees' issues arose. There seems to be a gap between existing goals and this month's desired goals and performance. Did all the employees' issues need to be resolved right away? Are employees not working hard while taking advantage of full company benefits? Now what should Gary do about this? Gary understands the issues of his employees, but since sales have not been making any desired progress, Gary schedules a meeting for all employees at the end of the day. Gary's made a decision to set limitations and obtainable objectives for the employees' quarterly bonuses. Corporate holds a meeting with Gary to discuss possibilities of international expansion. Corporate mentions that outsourcing would benefit the company by opening up new ventures and increasing their competitiveness in global markets. Corporate tries to convince Gary that outsourcing in India would be a cost-effective and efficient source for the company. With Gary set in his ways, he's very apprehensive to the idea of forming a strategic alliance. He feels that his employees would be very much opposed to the idea, as he just resolved all the issues they had with their bonuses. He feels it's too soon for the company to consider a project this large scale. Looking forwards to the future, Gary decides to take the strategic and tactical plans developed by Simon and the corporate office and convert them into an operational plan for his franchise. Gary enlists the help of Sarah and Nathan to create an operational plan to ensure they're competing most effectively in the market. With the changes made using the Innovation Lab, the franchise has created a niche market for themselves in the field. However, it's still important for the team to ensure they're supporting the plan of the company as a whole. The team endeavors to answer questions like, what are our franchise's strengths and weaknesses? And what activities do we need to continue to perform well to meet customer expectations? Gary, Sarah, and Nathan come up with a 12-month plan focused on outcomes for their franchise to ensure they're making business decisions that align with their goals.